afternoon we want to explore what is meant by an agile workforce. What do you understand by that?
I think what's happening in the workspace right now, we're getting new terms for everything. So in the old days they were flexible, or they were part-time, or they worked from home. Now we're calling them agile, and it's creating agile workspace, which we used to call hot desking, is now changing the way we work in all sorts of different ways.
So in my mind, I immediately think of an open office with no separate desks or separate offices for managers and everybody sharing the same space. Is that what you would understand?
But I think that is the definition, sort of open plan.
Okay.
For agile workers, an agile worker could, by definition, have their own office, but it does mean that they don't have to be in the office all the time, or that their hours are different, and that that you create deliverables around what they do, rather than that they have to be in a particular place at a particular time.
So I'm guessing that adds a requirement for people who take ownership and responsibility for their jobs, who understand very clearly what it is that they have to do, so that you don't need to manage them particularly.
That is the ideal situation, and of course that means, I think the word, when we've talked about this topic before, Kathy, you used the word mature workforce, and that is what you're really trying to achieve, is a mature workforce. But there is a downside to people arriving and leaving office space constantly during the day, because it is more disruptive. Now, we're currently talking about disruption in a very positive way, but we still have to accept that there is negative disruption as well. And having spoken to some people who have moved into this kind of office space recently, what they're finding is that they're actually producing less during the workday because of the constant comings and goings. People are naturally polite and friendly, so they will come over and talk to you because they've just arrived at the office. The fact that you're in the middle of something and have been there for 2 hours doesn't seem to occur to them. And that's the complaints we're getting from people who are now new, probably, to an agile workspace.
And if you were just to ignore people moving into the office, or as you come in on a Monday morning not to greet anyone because you see their heads are deep in their work, you would be possibly considered rude.
That's the challenge, is how do you create the kind of positive and constructive workspace where people are talking together in a way that moves the business forward, as opposed to moving their social life forward, I suppose, is really what we're trying to talk about here. So it's one of the guys I spoke to said when he came back from leave, he might as well have taken an extra week's leave, because every single day that he came back from leave in January, there were different people coming back, and everybody came to his desk, and everybody talked about their leave, and everybody talked about his leave. He said it was almost impossible for him to function for a week. So it's also about how you manage these things. That's the negative side. The positive side, as I've said, is very much around open communication, growth, the ability to have a flexible life and a more balanced life, or an integrated life. Those things are all the positives about being an agile worker. It's really important to create a construct around it that enables people to also work on a regular and in a structured way.
So try and confine the social discussions to the water cooler or tea breaks.
Yes, I think that's probably the best way for it to happen.
Okay. Thanks, Till.